Okay, so it's been a minute since I've done a news style brief, but it is time. So much has happened since I last did an update, and there is so much going on in Miami. Some of it has already made it to the news, made it to local papers, but I think it's important to talk about here because I know it's happening in other places in the country as well. Particularly in Miami, we are suffering from a full-on warfare on the trees. And before I go deeper into it, I'm just going to address a few things because already on my social media posts, I've gotten comments of saying, "Oh, well, you're in a city. That's what happens. Who cares about the trees? There's bigger issues. Oh, you guys are talking about green lots being developed. They were empty." I'm shutting all of that down because, firstly, if you don't know how many removals and if you don't actually check the Miami Gov website, let me pull it up right here and tell you what it is. So you can check for yourself and see how many removals are happening. So it's on the miami.gov website. You go to My Government Departments Building, view intended decisions posted for tree permitting. You can also just search Miami intended decisions trees and it will come up. I became familiar with this site in the end of April, beginning of May, when I was trying to get information about a huge banyan tree in my neighborhood. They were moving construction equipment into the lot. I was worried about the tree. I was calling the city. I finally got in contact with environmental resources, and they told me, "Don't worry, we have protections for trees. Usually trees of this size need to be relocated." So I was like, okay. The next day they cut the tree. And I posted about this on social media, and that is how I got integrated into other groups who have been fighting for years against tree removals. From that point on, I've been checking this site. We have been filing appeals because there have already been more than 300 trees removed in Miami this year alone. And we have a hearing on Tuesday, July 21st, 5:30 p.m. Please, if you are in Miami, come out and make a comment. I'm going to post a link for you to make a public comment as well. We need as many people as we can get because we've been fundraising, filing the appeals. So how it works in Miami, if you want to remove a tree, you're supposed to file for a permit. It gets approved by the city. They post the notice, and then the community of where the tree is going to be removed will have 10 days to file an appeal, and they range. The lowest I've seen was 250. The highest I've seen has been 730. These appeal fees are non-refundable. So after you pay, let's say the city withdraws a request, which they did. They were going to remove 9 trees. We filed the appeal, and I went to the site like a couple weeks later just to check things out. And one of the workers told me, "Oh, the city's not removing them." So I emailed the city. They said, "Yeah, we're not removing them. We have it in email. They're withdrawing the permit request, but we still don't get those funds back." And this happened in another case as well. So the system, in a way, it's good it exists because there are other municipalities and other cities where you don't even get to appeal it. But at the same time, it puts the onus on the citizens. You only have 10 days. You have to pay a lot of money to file it. We have to go to court. We have to mail the people in the surrounding area to tell them that an appeal is happening. But when the city grants the permit, they're not individually mailing all the people to let them know the trees are going to be removed. So the system is definitely flawed, and there are supposed to be protections in the first place that so many of these removals should not be granted. But if you're following me on social media, my IG is Mima's Room TV. If you're following any of the tree accounts, Miami Tree Action Committee, Miami Canopy Watch, Miami Tree Coalition, all of the information is there of what an industry this is. So what recently happened in my neighborhood, a development group called Mellow, they're the ones who cut down the banyan tree, and now they cut down It's called a Ficus religiosa. It was such a beautiful tree. I've lived in the area for 5 years. I watched the tree grow. There was a little cafe there, an outdoor cafe where the community would sit. The ducks and the chickens would all live there. In a blink of an eye, overnight on Sunday, they removed the cafe, and then Tuesday morning, they cut the tree without a permit. And they also cut the other trees on the lot 25%, more than 25%. They shaved them almost without a permit. In this case, the developers will just have to pay a fee. Usually it's $1,000 for a tree that was cut, and maybe they'll have to replace it. I just know if you're a resident, they come down harder on you, and you will definitely have to replace that tree. And the fines for a resident is felt much greater than it is for the developers. There is a system where certain protected trees are supposed to be relocated, but the cost for that can be upwards of $100K. Of course, they're gonna say, no, we'll just cut the tree, we'll pay the $1,000, and we'll donate to the Tree Trust Fund. The Tree Trust Fund was previously audited and found that it was being misused. We have money where trees could be being planted every single day. Trees could be being relocated, but instead all of these permits are being granted for removals, and then now there's illegal tree removals happening. And when these happen, yeah, maybe they'll get a ticket or a small fine, but the fine should be commensurate with the price of removal. And to put a price tag on the life of a tree that has been living, breathing, growing, providing for an ecosystem, providing for a community, to relegate that to $1,000 is ridiculous and unfair. And so currently in my neighborhood in Edgewater, we're having a huge issue where those 2 trees were cut down. The one of the lot is already being developed, and the construction is so loud. And there's already another construction zone called Edge House that has also been so extremely loud. Now, if they develop this lot where they recently just cut the tree, that is going to be another construction zone. This is unfair to the people who moved here, the people who lived here, the animals here, and the businesses as well. And this is happening all over the city. The thing is, when people want to say you're making too much of a big deal about it, they don't know how precious our environment is, how many trees we've lost. The canopy is supposed to be 30%. That is the city and county goal. We are nowhere near that. Somebody posted a video today and said it was 17%. I'm not sure if that's what it is. At the first tree committee meeting, which was on Monday, I went and I asked them to disclose a number about the actual tree canopy and what the actual Tree Trust Fund, how much money is there. And citizens should be able to request from the Tree Trust Fund, because there are issues of, let's say, small homeowners who want to remove a tree, and they are also caught up in this tree removal, tree permit process. It should be easier for them. The city should say, hey, we have an allotment of this fund. If you want to bank the tree somewhere else, or if you want to find a way to relocate it, we can help you do that. In a place like Miami, it is so extremely hot. If you don't live here, if you haven't experienced a summer here, then you don't fully understand just how hot it is. And this could be remedied by adding trees. Trees can cool a city up to 10 degrees. It would cut down on AC units, on energy use, and honestly, trees make people happier. There's a statistic that when there's a tree outside of somebody's hospital window, they're likely to heal faster. And we are connected to the earth, whether people want to be cynical and deny this. If there were no trees, you wouldn't be able to survive. And the rate that we're going at, that seems to be the goal of the city. So people will say, people who are following along are like, what is going on? What is the intention behind this? What is the goal? And honestly, it is about money. If you're getting kickbacks from developers, we have a hearing on Tuesday, and it's for a removal of, let me see here. Let me count how many trees. 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57 trees. So the commissioner of this district, she is getting $1 million from the developer to be able to develop in this lot. There are some more complications with this story where the surrounding building owners thought they would be getting a cut of that money. They're not. It's going to the commissioner. And I'm not naming names exactly just yet because, in a way I can see maybe she thinks she's doing something good for her district, this $1 million. Maybe she has plans to put it back into the community, but to remove that many trees is absolutely unnecessary. It's mahoganies, gumbo limbos, Brazilian pepper, it's royal palms, so many different species of trees, and it's next to a park, a well-known Legion Memorial Park. One of those trees has already been damaged. The construction zone looks a mess. That's another thing too, is all of this construction makes Miami look so ugly. Like there is a huge bridge, which I don't know if this is ever going to be finished. It just looks so dingy, and so it's already rusting, and I feel like Miami is rushing to try to develop to be something like Dubai, some super chic luxury city. But you have this messy bridge and these messy construction zones, and the buildings are sinking, and the residents aren't happy, and the animals are being harmed, and the nature is being harmed, and the construction zones are leaking debris into the water. It's just like, wow, 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 wow. And I've lived here for 7 years. I will say, I feel like, and I mentioned this before, I was a bit oblivious. I was in a la land of just working. My particular neighborhood has been fine for all of these years. I think it corresponds with a new mayor. That is the one thing that has changed. And in 2023, we got a new commissioner, but still things were fine. We have a mayor who's committed to overdevelopment. She was actually at a climate conference in London and so proud, smiling, but I don't know what she was smiling about. Of the commissioners, even the ones who don't agree with the tree people who don't agree, they've addressed concerns, they've held meetings. The mayor has not said one thing about the tree massacres that have been happening. So it wasn't just my neighborhood this week. Also, a very old, beautiful, historic banyan tree was cut, and it was integral to the neighborhood. Like I'm saying, there's cynical people who I pray for them, but when you're really connected to the earth and you understand how all life is interconnected, you feel the trees and you feel this loss of life. And of course, I'm an indigenous person. It's part of our theology. It's part of science that the trees are alive, that they breathe, that they care for us, and that we are supposed to in turn care for them. So it's not just the trees that we're losing, it's also historic sites. I'm fighting to save the Well of Ancient Mysteries, which is an indigenous historical site. It's important for Bahamian history. It's important for the history of Brickell. It's a site of a lot of trees. There's a natural spring there. And a foreign development company, Lest Group or Lest Day, they want to demolish it. So it's not, we're losing trees, we're losing history. And as humans, I don't know. I think about this, and I know other people do think about it, but what is the record we are leaving, or why are they so eager to erase all vestiges of our previous history? It would be so cool and amazing in Miami right now if we had leadership who's like, that's an historic building, let's preserve it. There's another cottage now that this billionaire, he's trying to buy, and it's already in a historic trust. It's a designated historic building, and they're still trying to buy it out. For me, history is very important so we can know what has happened, who we are, and where we're going, where we have come from. These are our stories. And from my perspective as an Indigenous person, there's already been so much of a loss of our histories, of our stories. Generations of our elders had to go to Catholic boarding schools and weren't allowed to learn our history. It's very intentional to cut people off from the historical record, from their stories, because if you don't know who you are, if you don't know where you came from, it's so much harder for you to navigate this world. So that's where we're at. So I've been going to a lot of the commission meetings, speaking out. I went to the Climate Resilience Committee to speak there. I spoke at the first tree committee, excuse me, so the city, in an answer to, in an answer to all these protests about the removals, formed a tree committee. The first tree committee meeting, no one knew if it was public. I found out because I went to another meeting and they mentioned it, but it was open to the public and it's only meeting for 1 year. My thing is, all of these removals, they're happening now, and in a way it feels like the city is saying, okay, let's hurry up, we got to do these removals before any of the tree committee actions or before any of the public workshops. There is a petition that has almost 2,000 signatures of citizens asking to stop all non-emergency tree removals. And there's going to be a whole lot of debate and mention, and what people like to throw around is that tree people hate development and they don't want to see growth and they don't want to see progress. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. A lot of people who like the environment, a lot of people have amazing ideas for development and ways to incorporate the environment, ways to build that don't disrupt an ecosystem, really beautiful, cool, unique buildings. There are other cities across the world, even in New York, making pocket forests, and here they seem to just be cutting down the trees. Literally all people are asking for is more parks, and the city is like, the best we can do is just cut down all the trees, and actually all the parks are at threat. There's another park in Brickell, Alan Morris Park, which they're trying to develop. And even the park in Edgewater, the last thing we have that's not being developed, they want to renovate that as well. So I think from the outside, if anyone sees it as excessive or exaggerating, it's not. There's just so many aspects to the corruption and lack of care for the residents, and that's what people are upset and screaming about. There is evidence that the Tree Trust Fund is being misused and abused. There are residents who are in active litigation all over the city trying to fight to save historic sites. There's a group of people, I believe they're in Little Havana, they're getting kicked out of their trailer homes for another development. And the thing is, no one who lives here is asking for more development. There are already so many vacancies in these apartments, and they say it's affordable housing. None of the housing in Miami is affordable. None of these new developments are even close to affordable, so that could just be thrown out the window. When anyone says that, oh, we have to do this to create affordable housing, ask them what the rent are of these units. Please, like, affordable housing in Miami, like, they don't even go in the same sentence. The actual affordable housing that you can find is the older houses and the efficiencies that people have. It's none of this new construction. So honestly, I feel like I've talked about my life in the past in Miami. I've said I've loved it. I said it's great. Now is where I'm coming to understand why people say Miami is corrupt. I'm coming to understand all the warnings people try to give me. But the thing that keeps me going is I constantly meet so many people who don't agree with the government, who want to see change, and who have a mindset of protecting the environment and protecting our history. So I think we're getting to a point where we can come together on a lot of topics. We can see eye to eye. The corruption is so in our face. The loss of life is so much in our face. And some people also say things like, oh, well, I have other problems in life. I have other things to focus on. There's more serious things. And it's true. Like people are getting harassed and murdered by ICE, and people are being displaced from their neighborhoods. And I totally feel for that. I feel for all of it. The displacement also has to do with this rush to overdevelopment. And I think, when you consider that these commissioners only have their terms for whatever, how many other years, they get their money. They're not thinking about the future of the city or the future of the residents. I'm sorry, I can't say that I believe that any of them are thinking about the future based on what I've seen, based on what I've heard. So this is what it looks like, like your city is selling us out. And I know in the past people have been afraid to speak out against things, but I grew up in LA, I grew up in New York. I feel like people pop off more there, well, that's another thing. Like that's something else too. It's like, should I just leave Miami? There's also problems with corruption in the government in LA. So we just need, honestly, what is happening right now is more people speaking out more than ever against data centers, against the tree removals. We're learning the processes at the commission meetings, and I think that's great. And I think we'll have to have new people running for office, and maybe even collapse the whole entire colonial government and have a new constitution and even call ourselves maybe a new country. That's all I'm saying. Mic drop. That's all I'm saying. No, because I truly believe this country was founded on genocide. It was founded on slavery. It was founded on lies. There's rapists and all forms of government and child trafficking. So let's just reboot everything. Like, we obviously don't agree and stand for that. Boom. Ignore that. Ignore all these old people, all these old dudes. We need to get writing a new constitution. Let's forge a new land. Let's do this. But I'm at the point right now where I have a lot of goals and visions for my life. And to be honest, I never expected my life this year to be so caught up at city commission meetings and so involved with the local government. But at the same time, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm using my voice. I always used to use my voice in New York and be very active, like especially about police brutality. And then since I came to Miami, I feel like I've just been focused on work and sort of insular, like in my own world. But I, have always had my eye open for injustice. I feel so much for the environment, and what I love so much about Miami and what so many people do love, and the reason why they moved here is for the water, is for the trees. And I truly believe if we keep speaking up, if we come together, this can all stop. Like, seriously, stop. Like, all we're asking for is a moratorium on the tree removals and stop bending over to all of the wishes of these developers. It's just really so mind-boggling and weird. Like, why do we need apartment buildings and condos on every single block? And it's hot here. We need trees. We don't need more concrete. Concrete on concrete, first of all, is harmful for us, harmful for the environment, but even from a business standpoint, no one's gonna live here when it gets so extremely hot. And I think maybe some people are okay with that. They know that they're building these luxury condos and it's gonna be occupied by really rich people who leave during the summer, who can leave when the climate gets bad. And this is just one of their homes. But without regular people living the summer months, when those people leave, businesses suffer. And you can't expect businesses to suffer from 3 months of not having any clientele. And those rich people can only stimulate and sustain the economy so much. and the influx of people that they thought was going to be moving into Florida, into Miami, it slowed down. So it really just seems like this is all for nothing. And I do have a vision of Miami becoming a green city. I do have a vision of a new mayor, of new commissioners, of people who have really cool ideas about development that incorporate buildings that already exist, that have to do with historically preserving buildings as they are, like renovating them in a historic fashion to keep their same essence. I do have a vision that we are going to have more parks, and somebody's going to come up with an initiative to preserve our green spaces, and we're going to have a super rich donor who's going to come here and he's going to say, nah, I'm buying this lot, I'm buying this lot, and I'm making it a park. This is a mindset we need to have for it to be possible. So that is my little news brief for now. Like, we have our hearings on the 21st. Please come out 5:30 p.m. We need as many people there. City Hall, 3500 Pan American Drive. If you cannot make it, there's a way to leave a public comment. I'm gonna post that. We have a lot of petitions going. Follow me on Instagram, Mima's Room TV. You'll find all of the information there. Let's hold on together, guys. I love you. I'm here for you. I love my Miami life. Like, when I think about leaving Miami, it's like, well, what other city am I gonna find where the water is so blue, where I can just run and I'm running through a park and over the bridge, and the weather is just like, it's warm at nighttime. This summer has been so extremely hot, and it corresponds with all the tree removals. Let's plant some more trees, you know? So I really want this vision of a beautiful Miami to come to fruition, and I believe in it. So let's just unite, guys, and we need more people involved, more people coming to meetings. Sometimes somebody else can get through to a politician better than somebody else. Other people have better ideas for ways to preserve the environment. So everybody needs to use their voice, and we can't move with fear. I love you guys. Have a good night.